All right, so the video that you're about to see, this is a preview of the video. And again, I missed a couple things I wanted to say. So I'm going to say it in this video as a movie trailer to the following video, okay? The next video, I titled it From Champions to Genocide. That video starts off really slow and it picks up and in sections, right? The first day has this, I guess it's very slow in the first day. And I think there's 3 days of shooting. And it just picks up every day. So the first one I would say is pretty slow, okay? And it starts picking up. But this is, in a way, I think it's one of the newer philosophies that you would ever encounter. It's pretty new, I would say. It's unique in the sense that it's new. And in this video, I want to talk about being new, okay? How certain ruling styles or identities ruled the world. I want to draw a distinction between perhaps two of them. Okay, and the first example I want to use is Germany, okay? And Germany had a certain number of Reichs, right? R-E-I-C-H's, Reichs. And the first, and Reich, what Reich means, I guess, simplified, is a German-speaking nation or culture or world or just like area, I guess you could say, a Reich, right? And the first Reich, I would say, was them taking over the Roman Empire, right? Just like geographically, right? The Germans were on the east side of the Danube River, right? Which is a river in Europe that's kind of like a line in Eastern Europe, right? It goes along, I think it goes along Berlin. I think it goes along like Holland, right? Holland, I guess like Germany, and then like Czechoslovakia, and then Hungary, right? And it goes further, right? The Danube River. And to the west of it was the Roman Empire. And to the east of it was the Germans, okay? And that would have been the First Reich, was that land, I guess, or that time where they were in the world among the Romans, I guess you could say, right? And the Second Reich was shortly after Nietzsche died. Otto von Bismarck, I believe he was still alive. But Nietzsche was writing about Otto von Bismarck, and I think Nietzsche dies. And I'm not sure, but I think Otto became the Second Reich or something, and then Hitler was the Third Reich, right? Land of German speakers. You notice that at first the Reich is east of the river, right? And then by the time it gets to Hitler, the Reich is like much bigger, right? But now Germany is in just the border it is today, right? But a lot of countries speak German, but Germany's land is just in Germany, and it's not the same as it used to be, okay? So compared to more Western countries in Europe, Germany had, you could say, less of a Rome type history, right? Uh, we could say they were tribal, more tribal, right? And Germans are famous for a lot of different tribes that are influential even today, where we don't even recognize it, really, right? And one aspect of it is the Goths, right? Goths, right? Goth is a whole type of style, you could say, but it's really coming from Germany, right? A lot of people don't know that. But the Goths are from Germany. And uh, there's other names in the German tribes that have been kind of like spotlighted. And here's an example that is uh, not shown in a positive light. Uh, and the idea is called Vandals, right? Vandals is the name of a German tribe, right? And it being a German tribe, like the Goths, uh, one more would be called the Franks, right? Franks, Goths, uh, Vandals, right? These are just names, right? And I'm saying that in the modern culture, these words have different meanings, right? But they're stemming from this Germanic tradition, okay? German history compared to Roman history, I would say that Germans, whenever their kingdom had a scuffle or something, I would say those five, you know, tribes or whatever, they uh, they kept the history not as dramatic as the Roman history, right? I want to point that out between the two. And when I say barbarians, I don't think they were dumb, right? I think they studied Rome before they invaded Rome, right? They kind of already knew what they were getting into. But Rome probably didn't know as much about the Germanic tribes as the Germanic tribes knew about Rome, right? I want to say, uh, as Rome, its own habits of advertisement kind of exploits them, right? Advertisement for capital or whatever, it kind of exploits them. Here, I want to point out that America is a lot like Rome. And in this comparison, I'm going to say that if what I said earlier was right, I would say that China is comparable to Germany, right? And to what Germany did to Rome. And I'm only going to use the idea of patents like Bill Sauce, Microsoft, right? Bill Gates, Microsoft, as the stealing of Bill's patents to, I guess, make better their population. Always in the past, when I get to this part of philosophy, I've always flipped it, right? And I've always said that who are the barbarians, right? When it comes to China and the United States, in terms of having technology that will help society, right? If it was up to America, China would not have this certain technology that would make people's lives better, right? Just because of the laws. And I'm just pointing out that we could take over, we could say that this practice of patents and stuff like software, right, is uh, is barbaric, right, in terms of the violence, right, the physical pain that it causes from not having it, the human body, right, in a way, the fluidity of its uh, natural processes that it itself is alienated from, right? Germany, in a short time span, right, from I think about 1802, 3, 4, 5 is when Kant dies, till 1900 is when Nietzsche dies. A few years short of 100 years, you had Kant, Hegel, Schopenhauer, Karl Marx, and Nietzsche, right? This is this is a very dense uh, section of philosophy, and it's pretty new. Okay, I want to point out that the Germans quickly became the scientists and philosophers, right? Coming from, you could say, I could say more in a positive note, you could say, you could even say, coming from a barbaric standpoint, right? I would say that were, they started becoming uh, philosophers and scientists, and they were kind of like masters of it because they were observing the Roman Empire, right? But at the same time, they had no culture compared to the Roman Empire. And I say that in the sense that they were newer, right? They had in a way, they had an advantage. And the way I describe the advantage is they had less politics, right? Less shame. They had less less reasons to to not uh, to not allow their history affect their future decisions. Okay, sorry, I took a while, but that's what I wanted to say. And in a certain sense, I want to say that that is comparable to America, right? The Germans, in that sense, right? When we were so brand new, without the politics and without the shame or whatever, or without the corruption, you could say, the generational corruption and the history passed down of some type of establishment, right? Not that we don't have one today. It just wasn't to the degrees of the other places of the world, right? America, Germany. Germany started coming out with all types of inventions, right? Just like America in its younger days, uh, invented a lot of stuff. Okay, kind of like the Germans were doing before, you know, their uh, empires were crumbled, I guess you could say. So I wanted to get to Israel, and Israel is a new um, entity, right? Like a, I guess you say, physical spot entity. But Israel, the word Israel, existed before the state of Israel, right? Yesterday, I seen a video uh, with two girls from Israel telling an interviewer that when they uh, kill a Palestinian family, they have to kill the children, otherwise they will come back, right? And I just wanted to say that this is just, in a certain sense, textbook. Uh, the Prince Niccolo Machiavelli. Um, what what Machiavelli says is that when you I guess take over a vicinity, what you do is you devastate, right? You obliterate the existing traditions and culture and all that stuff, right? They're saying that they must kill the the remaining family, right? Machiavelli says you gotta take out the whole line, right? So you gotta completely destroy a culture, right? Once you take them over. Otherwise, what the Israeli girls were saying, you gotta kill them, otherwise they'll come back, right? And going off that, I want to point out that the Palestinians are barricaded in Gaza. They can't leave Gaza, and they're being exterminated, right? They're A lot of them would like to leave, and they're trying to say that all these countries won't take them, and trying to make deals with other countries to take in the refugees, but nobody wants to take them in. And they're just really getting genocide in a certain sense. But it's not like how uh, the Ukrainian war, right? The Ukrainian war that's happening the last previous years, where when Putin first attacked Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine, everybody was fleeing the country, right? And I guess that happened to Gaza too. And then eventually, uh, Ukraine made it illegal for the guys over a certain age to leave. And I hear they're like, perhaps snatching people out the streets to send them into the army if you're like a Ukrainian male at a certain age. I don't know how valid that is, but that's, I mean, it's not that far fetched to me either, on either side. But uh, the Jews, were also warned too. And a lot of times the people uh, get warned of things and they don't heed the warning and bad shit happens to them, right? Uh, they say that the trains don't, something similar to the trains don't never run late in Germany, right? And that was saying that there was a warning that Hitler was coming, and the trains never ran late to get the people out, right? And if you missed the last train, then you were pretty much stuck there, right? And then the genocide happened, right? It's like a warning. Okay, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up and say something cool, and then I'm gonna go over kind of like my outline for what I want to do with the videos after I finish up this video about the whole I don't even know how to describe it. But the whole Rome, Germany, America, Palestine, Israel stuff, okay. I'm gonna just try to get to the point, and hopefully you guys think about it, makes you want to watch, and it makes you want to watch the other video. I say it's kind of slow. It's because every time I say shit like that, it's because I've already watched it like 3, 4, 5 times. I don't think you'll watch it a couple times, right? It probably isn't slow to you, but to me, the beginning is slow. Okay. So we're looking at certain societies that observe other societies, and they come out to kind of exploit that society in one way or another, right? We're saying that the Germans looked at Rome and kind of studied them before they crossed the river, right? I'm saying Israel studied the Palestinians before they bombed the Palestinians or whatever, right? And I'm looking at here is America, this new, young, for a second, very inventive lifestyle of the Americans, right? This new lifestyle where they don't have traditions that hold people back like it would in Europe or Asia. They're they're able to take other information as theirs and reevaluate everything and become these inventors, right? Like how German did to Rome, right? German had a lot of philosophers and scientists in the 1800s coming into the 1900s, right? America had its very inventive times as well, right? But they're being studied, right? Initially, America was very atheistic, I guess you could say. The forefathers didn't believe in Christianity or Catholicism. But now there's a huge Israeli lobby in America, right? Their traditions of studying other cultures and forcing a hand into the culture goes back a lot stronger and not stronger but longer. And the American history, we're literally babies in this country, right? Compared to the rest of the world, 200-300 years old. We have things to be proud of, but it could go either way, right? This video I wanted to say was decline of America. So to wrap this video up, I want to again talk about ethics, which is a main topic in the next video. And I've been talking about ethics a lot recently. And I want to compare societal ethics, right? And the way I want to describe this, I remember in my early philosophy studies, the first campus I started going to study philosophy at was Metro State College back then. But it's become a university, right? Metro State University, Denver. There is, in philosophy departments, I think a lot of the philosophy departments around the country participate in what you call an ethics bowl, right? Which is the students get together and they're like doing some type of, I don't know if it's a debate or presentation of philosophy to see who has the best philosophy team in a certain sense in terms of ethics, right? I don't know how it's judged. But I remember that Metro State Denver, I think, won a couple years, right? And I recently went to a talk in UC Denver, and they were talking about the ethics bowl team of UC Denver, right? So it's still like a thing, right? And I find it interesting, right, that certain places breed certain type of people, right? Germany bred certain type of thinkers, and Israel has bred its type of thinkers, right? And I would say China has bred its type of thinkers, right? And America has its type of thinkers. And we all have our own ethics. Maybe not all our own, but it's just like we all have or participating in some type of ethics, right? And I would say some type of ethics are losing out in certain ways among others, okay? Some ethics are being exploited by other ethics, right? I wanted to kind of point that out, right? That I think America is losing out in the world because of its ethics, right? The way it thinks and the way it participates among the rest of the people in the world. Okay, I I personally want everybody to have a fair shot, but just as what I'm saying, uh, well, not necessarily I want everyone to have a fair shot as much as I want to say that I think the people with the right ethics are going to be able to uh, participate among each other and not a negative fashion, right? They're able to help each other out, right? There's certain societal ethics in certain societies that are better for the world, and we should choose those to make the world better as opposed to the lessers, right? The lesser in helping improve a lifestyle. Okay. Now that's all, I guess. That's just like a filler, right? A trailer to the next video and whatever else. But so my plan, my outline on videos is that I'm gonna drop this video tonight, which is Sunday night, really late. So you won't get this. You might not even get it before Wednesday comes. Depends on how long, if I'm in your algorithm on your Facebook, if uh, if you check in, or hopefully you'll watch this and then the video on Wednesday. The Wednesday after that, roughly 5:30, I'm gonna drop the Kant video. The Kant video is gonna be uh, a Kant summary, right? The next video, the from champions to genocide that I drop on Wednesday in a couple days, that's already a lot of Kant. I'd say it's just a little more Kant than Nietzsche, but it's a Kant and Nietzsche mashup. The video after that is just Kant's summary. Okay, that's gonna bring you all the way up to date. Your Kant is gonna be better than the rest of the 99% of the philosophy people in the world. Your Kant's gonna be better than everybody else's in the world. The people who watch my Kant video, who really understand it, are gonna be the best Kantians in the world, in my opinion. I think that if you don't see it that way, then you're not paying enough attention, or you're not like, I don't know, you just don't recognize what I'm saying as what it is. So after that video, so next, so in a few days, Wednesday, the Kant Nietzsche mashup. After that, you got the Kant summary, and then just the Wednesday after that, you'll get the Plato's Meno. That would be December 3rd, right? So the two is gonna be on the 20 something, I think, and then the third, and then the 10th, which I am hoping I could drop the Nietzsche lecture on December 10th, which is my birthday. That would make sense on my 44th birthday. But I just gotta like really, really go at it, and that'd be fucking pretty sick, yo. But if I don't, you gotta give it maybe a week or two. But I think I'm pretty good right now with my philosophy. I'm very deep, so you're getting a really deep version of me. This is the deepest I've ever been. Where previously, when I was doing philosophy videos, I would just I would just do all the work, right? These days, I leave gaps that people have to fill in, okay? And when you fill it in, it's just like when you do it yourself, you have a better grasp of everything. You have more retention of it because it made sense to you and it wasn't as easy as just you having to remember something. You did the logic, right? Like I know I said last year that, oh, next couple months you'll be at your greatest philosophy, your highest intellect. The Kant video is going to bring you there. I'm going to start shooting it. I got 10 days to shoot it, and I'm pretty sure it's going to get shot within 10 days. Okay? I'm not doing anything else besides that. So the next video, it might be a little slow, but just it's a little loud, but the audio is good. Sometimes like I know I am my face whatever, but you can just listen to the audio. I think I speak I have a good voice somewhat, and you can just hear the audio. And just if you lose your spot, just pause, rewind, and replay it again. Okay, keep the logic in your head. The next video, I love the next video. It's pretty freaking. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a lot of like. It is an application of some Kant and Nietzsche, right? And me doing the application of it is because I'm so good at it. The logic that I'm saying it, the statements that I use, it's using the logic of Kant and Nietzsche, right? And then I'm gonna just do a Kant video and it kind of like justify everything. If this one doesn't, it's not justified in your head. The Kant video will just justify all the Kant stuff that you would ever need. And then the Nietzsche will do the same with Nietzsche. Nietzsche's something else. All right. So thanks for watching. It's a trailer. The next one's 2 hours, okay? I don't know how to describe it, but sometimes like when you're in a lecture, like I warm you up, right? But there's a lot of times when I'm in a lecture and like one of my teachers is ripping it, right? And it's only like an hour 15 for the class. I'm like, yo, I could fucking listen to this lecture like another hour or two. Like, and sometimes the teacher will go over the time and it's like, yo, you just wish that they would have more time just to rip it. So I'm giving this video a tear, I believe. It's really deep and it's really, in a way, it's like my best video. Like, it's just, in a way, I think not only that it's my best video, this next one's gonna blow that shit away, which is fucking insane, right? So you're in for a really good ride when it comes to philosophy, right? This next video, I blow a lot of shit out of water. It's ridiculous, I think. It seems subtle, but it's ridiculous. And then the Kant video after that is gonna blow that shit away, right? The one I'm about to shoot within like 10 days and post it on that Wednesday. So just, you're on the fucking, so just watching the Kant video, like you're already gonna be like, what the fuck? Like you're gonna see the best content in the world in your fucking head in a way. I really believe so. Okay, so just watch that shit. Okay, talk to y'all later.